You like the beach? You like Mustangs? Then it's 2 for 1. Only it's more than just Mustangs. It's small Mustangs, Shelby's, Mustang IIs, every exotic and exquisite Mustang you can imagine.
Welcome, car fans, to another edition of the Lokar Car Show series. This week, we're at Mustang Week in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Hello again, everyone. I'm your host, Ted Jones, and there's Mustangs everywhere. Every size, shape, and description of Mustangs. If you're a Mustang or a Ford fan, stay tuned for the next 30 minutes. We'll show you something like this. Gorgeous Mustang with a 5.0 engine in it. Look at the custom flame job. A lot of spit and polish right here, chrome and everything shined out. But the thing that really draws your attention to this are the unusual number of lights.
Lights are located everywhere on this car. It's inside the rims, inside the speakers, underneath the engine. Everywhere you imagine there could be a light, there's going to be a light.
Can you control them, Brady?
I control them Wi-Fi. I can be on my telephone, and from about 300 feet, I can change them any color you want.
Now, he's done a lot of work to make this engine pretty, but I think he's also done a lot of work to make it have a lot of power, too.
We went with American Carcraft. They installed it. As you can see, it's just one bad machine. And it's had also pro dyno. It's just been taken care of.
Now, your wife has one, too. Who had the first one?
I did.
Actually, he got it because I was wanting it first, and he beat me to the punch.
Then inside right here, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. And of course, it's lighted. Look at those brake calipers right there, and take a look at those custom wheels. Take a look right here at the liner for the deck lid, and then down here, the stereo and the special treatment he had. He carried the flames from the front to the back. Now, this car is so gorgeous, you know that he has to trailer this car. Maybe.
Oh, no, sir. This is a daily driver. None of this sitting in the garage just to keep dust. This is here, gets in the mud, gravel. That's what we do.
I bet he keeps it parked in a really nice garage.
Don't have a garage. We just sit out there underneath a tree. How about that?
This looks like maybe it was inspired by the same people, only the picture of the car's up here, and it's a V6, giving you a hint. Yeah, it belongs to the wife.
A gentleman named Daniel from Brian's Custom Paint did all of my artwork.
Is this a stock color on the paint?
It's actually Kona blue. They stopped making it this year, 2013.
They both love all these LED lights. See that over there in the speakers? The lights actually change color. I see them back here in the louvers again. And as I come around to the trunk back here, I found out she has one great big stereo.
Master Audio from Easley, South Carolina, custom built in the box and installed it for me. They etched the horse in after I showed them the picture I wanted.
He got to have a V8 engine. She had to settle for a V6, but there's a reason why.
I've got a little lead foot, so I don't need the extra power.
Now, folks, here's an example of how all of this Mustang business started. This is a rare 1966 Mustang. It's called a Sprint 200. I'll get to that in just a minute. Original yellow color. This is a perfect stock restoration. Notice some of the things right here. You know, drive-in restaurants with car hops were big back in the 60s. He calls this the Mustang Diner. He has a nice little menu here where you can get a cheeseburger for 25 cents. He's got a pack of Mustang cigarettes lying on the console right there. And notice, look real closely at the shift lever. The console is a 3 on the floor, not a 4 on the floor. This thing is completely stock original. It belongs to Tim Taylor out of Greenville, South Carolina. It's called a Sprint 200 because, no sir, not a 289, not a fast car. 200 cubic inch inline overhead valve, 6-cylinder. But notice some of the other things. You have the Mustang engine tune-up right here that you can add to your crankcase. Down here is a Rotunda 6,000-mile oil filter. Over there is an auto light. These are all Ford products, okay? He's got this thing perfectly restored right down to the last degree. Lying on the dashboard, an ad out of a magazine for the millionth Mustang sale, and just to make it authentic, he has reproduced the original window sticker right here for the 66 Mustang at a base price of $2,416. This one optioned out at $2,694. Bet you can't buy it from him for that now. Now here's a really fast Mustang. First of all, I really like the color. I mean, I've always been kind of partial to red cars, but look what he's got under the hood. Now that's the stock blower that you get from SVT. That's the special vehicle team of Ford Motor Company that makes really fast Mustangs. This one's certified right here as a Shelby GT500. He wasn't happy with that. He's changed out the pulleys to 10% overdrive on the blower so he could make it go a lot faster. Ported and polished that supercharger to get more power. He completely redid the whole suspension system on it so it would handle. He even did a back seat delete. It has no back seat. It has the X brace instead. Fast Mustangs, nice blown carpet. That's not what I call a blower. Now that blue one right over there, that's a blower, folks. We'll be back with more of Mustang Week after this.
This edition of the Lokar Car Show is being brought to you by Lokar. Quality, plain and simple. ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Hunter Engineering, state-of-the-art wheel aligners and wheel alignment machines. Motovicity, 100% wholesale, 0% retail. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show series, coming to you this week from Mustang Week in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Well, you know, back in the 70s, they came out with a thing they called a Mustang II. They came with V6s, and they weren't very fast. They didn't really have the Mustang image, and a lot of people didn't like them, but one guy had one. He drove it through high school, and then as he got older and got out of school, hung onto that car, 1974 model, and he decided to fix it with that.
It's a 351 Windsor. It's stroked out to 408. It has probe pistons and H-beam rods in it. It's got Performer RPM heads in it. There's 205 valves in it. It's got 1.6 rockers. It has a competition 592 solid lift cam in it. It's got two 750 double pumpers. It's a Pinto converter. It stalls out at around 5 to 5,500 RPM with a C4. Right now it has a brake in it. Kind of have to shift it backwards to go down the road, but rear end is a 9-inch with 411 gears, clutch differential, and rear disc brakes, front disc brakes. At 20, 30 miles an hour, I can just kind of step on it and I'd open the double pumpers up and it'll brake the tires loose and shift all 3 gears. And it'll be running 55 miles an hour and it'll start getting sideways. I have to get out of it. And if I stomp all the way on it and open all 8 barrels, it'll bust them loose again.
Most people don't like Mustang IIs, but you fixed this one.
Late 80s and early 90s, they were frowned upon. They were looked at just like Pintos. I'm proud of my car, and a lot of people really like it. And it's an enjoyable feeling to have somebody to say, hey, I used to own one of these. I wish I still had it.
He's made a pro street out, but look at the competition seat belts. He's also added some gauges right there so he can monitor all of that horsepower. And to keep it realistic back here, move the battery back in back, put a full roll cage and everything, tubbed it out for big wide meets so he can try and hook this thing up. He's even got a fuel cell in it. Every kind of Mustang you can imagine right here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, you know, they had an era they called the Fox body, started in 1979, ran all the way up through 1993, and they've made a whole club out of it. And now we're going to talk to Troy, who's a member of Southeastern Fox Bodies. That's a club in Charlotte. Now, explain the Fox body.
Well, it was Ford's internal designation for the 79 to 93 platform. They built several models off of that, but our club focuses on particularly the Mustang, but we're open to all of the Fox bodies. The Thunderbird, the Mercury Capri, the Ford Fairmont, they were all built off this same platform.
All right, we have a Mustang here, and what's special about this one?
This was a 89 Ford Mustang LX hatchback, and what we did was our club decided to build a car for charity. Instead of just building something with fully used donated parts, we decided to get some company sponsors on board. We ended up a total of 40 company sponsors that donated either money, parts, or other services, and it is a complete rotisserie restoration modification, so it's a resto mod. The engine is a 351 that's bored 30 over to a 358. Trick Flow stepped up and gave us a complete top-end package. Late model restoration stepped up and gave us a full drivetrain package, and of course the 5-lug axles and front and rear disc brakes. Fox Mustang Restoration is real local to us there in Charlotte, and they were our primary build site and helped us out with over 150 hours of labor. And what we've done is we've sold a maximum of 5,000 tickets at $5 a piece. So with the expenses of the build, we're probably looking to clear about $18,000 for charity.
What charities are you using here?
The club nominated and voted on charities, and we took the top 3, and we're supporting the juvenile diabetes Diabetes Research Foundation, the Victory Junction Gang Camp in Randleman, North Carolina, and then a local girl, Savannah's Drive in Kannapolis, North Carolina. She's battling leukemia, so we're going to help her out too.
Boy, that is a completely built-up engine. I see an MSD distributor right there, and the parts go on and on. What a neat idea for a Mustang club. They're not kidding. They actually did have 42 sponsors that stepped up for this project. You know, it takes a lot of people and a lot of work to put this on. Over 2,000 Mustangs here this weekend in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So we caught up with the founder of this entire thing. His name is Rodney Melton, to find out a little bit more of just what goes on here and how it got started. How many Mustangs?
Probably around 2,500 in the whole parking lot.
And there's people everywhere.
Roughly 10,000.
That's incredible. How many years you been doing this?
Going on 12 now.
Yeah. What gave you the idea?
Just want everybody to be able to get together and have a good time, enjoy the beach, enjoy the cars, have a nice vacation. Me and a couple of the guys got together and started doing it, and it's just turned into what it is now. Just
Yeah,
a great
people
event.
from everywhere. We saw one Mustang from Oregon.
We got it from Oregon, Iowa, this side of the Mississippi and beyond.
It takes quite a staff to put this on.
Yeah, it consists of me, Brad, Scott, Michael, and we had a guy that passed away a few years ago, Bill Jones. He helped us. All of us work together to do it. It takes a lot of work.
And then anything you want for your Mustang, you've got a lot of vendors here.
We got everything you can need for new, old, in between, not a problem.
Okay, now is it about this same weekend every year?
It's the same week every year. I would check the website to make sure, but we try to have it the same week every year.
All right, and what is that website?
www.mustangweek.com.
Well, as Rodney said, over 2,500 Mustangs on the grounds. Here's one that's for sale. It's a 1989 Saleen, number 64 out of 160 with 600 original miles. Sold new in 1989, it says, for over $43,000. What is a Saleen, you ask? We'll tell you that coming up after the break. Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show, coming to you from Mustang Weeks in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Saleen. Now, that's a famous Mustang name, along with Roush. You see a Saleen Mustang, a Roush Mustang, you wonder what the difference is. Well, let's start with what he does to the motor. This is a 281, a very popular 4.6 modular engine.
This one here happened to be changed already. It's got a stroker, crank and pistons and all that stuff in there, so it's pushing over 5 liters right now. I think it started at 438 horsepower. It's up in the 600s now. Next mod is the head switch, so hoping to get into the 700s, and I think I'll be done at that point.
In addition, Saleen did a lot of things like this glass top up here. That's a Saleen exclusive. Saleen does a little bit to make the Mustangs faster, but he also does something to set them apart.
The biggest thing I think is just the exclusivity. There's not many out there on the road. When this was being made, there was just several hundred of each different style. This one's special because it has the glass roof.
Now, Saleen serializes all of his numbers. This is the 1,248th Saleen built, and that number will appear throughout the car. He's got it underneath the blower cover right here for the supercharger. It's located several other places in the car. In addition, see the wheels right here? Those are exclusive Saleen wheels manufactured. Very rare. If he loses one of those wheels, he's going to pay a lot of money to find a replacement for it. The Mustang Saleen. Now for the Roush. These Mustangs, like the Saleens, are very special, and they go for a lot of performance.
The ordinary Mustang came from the factory with 416 horsepower. The Roush Mustang, especially this one, was only made in 2011. There's 136 of them. This is one of 3. Came from Roush with 525 horsepower. It has the Stage 3 package, so it's suspension, exhaust, motor, supercharger, interior has been changed, short throw shifter, you name it, it really has all the performance goodies on it.
The appearance items you give the Roush kit, well, of course, you got the Roush identification here. He calls it Roush charged instead of supercharged up here. Right here, the 5XR identifies it, and of course, signs his name right down here. That makes it very exclusive. They have very different wheels, a completely different look. If you've got a Roush Mustang, you're standing taller than the other guys.
Got a lot of aftermarket producers of the body kits, but Roush ultimately makes their own. They actually buy the GT from the factory. bring it into their shop in Michigan, and then they'll take the components off, put their own components on, and then ship it to the Ford dealership.
Now this one has some special signatures. How about Jack Roush and how about Doug Yates? You know Roush Yates, you've heard of them before in NASCAR. In addition, you have a custom interior right here. Jack Roush's signature is sewn into the seat. That's part of the Roush Mustang package. You talk about Roush Yates. A lot of you may not know Jack Roush actually started in drag racing. That's right, IHRA and NHRA. He used to drag race. Here's the irony of it, okay? With Wayne Gap. Gap was the driver. He never drag raced a Mustang. Can you believe that? Now, before the Saleen and the Roush, there was the Shelby American GT 500. These were monsters, folk of the street. They put 428 Cobra Jet engines in them, and I mean, they would scream. They were very exclusive. This one is very rare, belongs to a gentleman who, believe it or not, actually tested that motor when he worked for the Ford Motor Company.
Back in '67, he built 2,245 428s and 1,210 with the 289 punched out to 306. Sort of funny, I ran the hot test stands at Dearborn Engines from 1964 to 1969. This engine actually went through my hands. A retired engine design guy.
Then the other nice thing you notice about this are the headlights. You ever see headlights in the center of the grille? That's a whole nother story.
Shelby had not submitted a car for safety reasons to the California Road Committee. He was building these on an assembly line at an old Ford plant in San Jose. California says there's no way we're going to let you put a car on the road with the two headlights in the middle of the grill. By that time, he had built 197 vehicles. There's approximately 60 of them that he changed. He moved the headlights out to the other ends of the grill. Approximately 120 of them he sold outside of California. This car went to Michigan, so that's how it's still there with the original headlights.
These early model shoulder harnesses actually came from Carroll Shelby. You can see they're anchored to a roll bar that also was done by Carroll Shelby. He has the exclusive steering wheel, a lot of exclusive things on the Shelby car. See the air scoops right here. These were made to cool the rear brakes back there. They had the nice little spoiler. He has this all documented, and then to make sure it's really valuable, guess who's signed the sun visor right there? We'll be back with more from Mustang Week after this.
This edition of the Lokar Car Show is being brought to you by Lokar. Quality, plain and simple. Hurst, America's #1 shifter. TRDSparks.com, discount online TRD OEM performance parts and accessories store. Garnet, finally a tank monitor that works. And by Cyclo Tool, manufacturers of the world's finest polishers.
Welcome back to Mustang Week and our coverage on the Lokar Car Show series coming to you this week from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Well, we came clear back here to the back to meet one of the main sponsors of the show. This 2011 Mustang is an example of some of the things that they can do for your car. If you have a late model Mustang, you need to get to know these people. We caught up with Jonathan McDonald, who explained what their company does.
Late model restoration, we do 1979 to present Mustangs, all the restoration, restyling performance parts you could ever want for all the major brands, even including our own brands, SVE and 50 Resto. Those are our own hand-selected parts, guaranteed to really work well on your car. We also do 93 to 04 SVT Lightning.
Now, this car you have here on display has got a lot of your stuff on it. What all is on this car that's yours?
It's got the full RTR package on it. It's got full Ford Racing handling pack, full Bassani exhaust, Stainless Works long tubes, Boss intake manifold, JLT cold air, SCT tune. Wheels are RTR, and we recently did the new Ford Racing GT500 15-inch brake kit on it.
Okay, and over here we have one from the Bob Bondurant School of Racing.
Yep, that was one of their former trainer cars. The owner of Late Model Restoration, one of his very good friends, purchased the car a few years ago, and we actually recently did a YouTube video series on doing a Coyote engine swap in it.
So if somebody's trying to restore a later model Mustang, you're the guys.
We're the guys. We invented it. With Late Model Restoration, we put the two words together. We started the whole craze.
And you have a website.
Yep, latemodelrestoration.com. You'll find everything you need there. Same-day shipping. Ship pretty much anywhere in the U.S. within 3 business days. Best prices, best service you can expect.
This is the engine compartment on the Bondurant car that Jonathan talked to us about. Well, you talk about a wild-looking engine. Look at that 5.0. Oh, that is sweet. We'll be back to wrap it coming up with some more Mustangs here from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, right after we catch up with this week's Car Lowdown.
On this week's Lokar Lowdown, it is big block Mopar time, and something that Mopar guys haven't had, and that's a Lokar dipstick.
Yeah, that's right. We've made dipsticks for many years for many, many different applications. We always had the Mopar guys say, "Where's mine? Where's mine?" Well, we finally got one for the big block Mopar.
And this is all the same as we have become accustomed to from Lokar, with the design and the colors too. You can get it in the Midnight Series?
Yes, you can get it in the Midnight Series. It's also available in our new Anchor Tight dipstick. We've got billet aluminum construction, a stainless steel braid, lifetime warranty, made in America. It's all the good stuff that everybody's come to expect.
Well, we know that this looks good, but what about, is it easy to read?
Yeah, it comes with, like I said, stainless steel construction and billet aluminum construction. It also has our easy read cable inside of it, make it a lot better than some of the other stuff that's out on the market.
You can check it out for yourself. All you have to do is go to lokar.com. Remember, quality, plain and simple, made in the USA, and lifetime warranty. You can also like Lokar on Facebook.
Okay, so you think you've seen it all Mustang Week? We're about out of time. I had to show you this. You don't believe this Mustang. This is unbelievable. It's actually inspired by the Transformers.
He's been building it since 2008.
And were you his girlfriend then?
No, I've been his girlfriend for about 2 years, so.
So when you saw this, what did you think?
Actually, when we started dating, all he had was the undercover lights, where he had like the Decepticon emblem on his hood, and then everything else kind of fell into place the 2 years we've been dating.
Then he wanted to put the machine gun on it.
Yeah, it's made out of a fiberglass, a sewing machine, motor, and belt.
He has several video screens inside and has the police lights up here, and of course he had to put Lambo doors on it. Lambo doors on a Mustang. Somehow that doesn't add up, but it's a great attraction. Matter of fact, according to his girlfriend, he likes to go to car shows.
There's an annual car show every summer in Hamilton that we take it to every year, so, and it's a every weekend thing.
Well, you know, they have a little different theme on this police car. Most of us say to protect and serve. This one says to punish and enslave. Remember the Transformers? If you didn't, look it up, and then remember this Mustang. That'll be a wrap for this edition of the Lokar Car Show series. Ladies and gentlemen, for Mustang Week, I'm Ted Jones. So long, everyone.
And finally, the Lokar Pick of the Week. This awesome automobile will be in competition for the Pick of the Year at the end of the season, a special December episode of the Lokar Car Show. What do you think will win? Stay tuned.